Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Intentional Productivity Tips. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I want to thank you for joining me today on Intentional Productivity Tips. I want to thank you for spending time with your productivity. Let's make it a better week. You are watching me on USA Global and TV, USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel, where please like, subscribe, and even be notified when new episodes drop. We have received the Silver Creators Award, which means we have over 100,000 guests, 100,000 subscribers. And with that, everyone, check out the options of programs that you're able to see, because there are some that are pretty amazing. I want to thank you for joining me today, because today we are on our third part of talking about productivity with your job search. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had an interview with a recruiter. We were able to hear specifically from the recruiter's chair some tips and suggestions that were great nuggets from Kelly Jones 2 weeks ago, in 2 episodes ago. Last episode, we talked a little bit about the job search process from 2 perspectives. We talked about from the recruiter's perspective, and we talked about from the job seeker's perspective. I find it powerful to job seek thinking of both. Now today, it's the third part, and we're going to wrap it up. And since we're talking about intentional productivity tips, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about organizing your job search with intention. We are going to talk today to make sure, how can you make your job search as productive as possible? Let's organize your process with intention. Now, you might be wondering, Megan, why are you talking about job search? This is bringing 2 of my past professional lives together. I did spend over 15 years working around the country implementing employment services contract training, job search trainers, county workers, participants, and creating programs that work throughout the country. My job search success rate for my participants is about 88%. So I do have some tips that I think are useful. And what I love most about this is that this opportunity connects job search with productivity. And as you all know, as a strategic productivity partner over the last 11 years, it has been fun to look at how to be intentional with our productivity. So today we are going to look at organizing your job search so that it is productive. And the whole foundation of this is to give you information so you can create your own productivity job search checklist. The goal here is I'm going to share 4 areas with you, 4 areas that are important in the job search process. We're going to look at some information and specific tips, and that way you are able to create a job search checklist that works for you and your search. What am I talking about when I'm talking about the 4 processes? Let's look. When we job search, we know that there are 4 stages we go through. There could be more, but we are going to focus today on 4 stages. We are going to focus on defining your job search, preparing for your job search, applying for your job search, and then reflecting on your job search. We know if we break our job search process into these 4 areas and categories, we're able to create actionable steps that become a checklist for us for success. Because the goal with a productive job search checklist is a job. So let's look at how we can do that right now. We are going to look at 4 categories, 4 areas in our job search that is important, starting with define. It is important when we are job searching, especially in this day and age, it is essential that we define what job search we are currently involved in. It is important for us to be able to identify what our search is for right now. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, again, as I've mentioned, I've been in the job search space since last century. If we look at how I first started helping people job search in the 90s compared to now, we know that the things have completely changed. We know that jobs have changed. We know that accessibility has changed. And so with that, that is why it is super important to start our job search with preparing and identifying a few things. The first thing we need to do with our checklist is determine the mode. Decide what kind of job we're looking for right now. Is it freelance? Is it a traditional job? Is it a traditional job from Monday to 40 hours? Is it a side job? Is it a side gig? Is it something freelance or project-based, right? So we need to identify first, what kind of job are we looking for right now? Because if we don't know what kind, we're going to look for many, and that is not going to be productive, right? We need to know what are we searching for right now. Then we need to identify what success looks like for this mode. There have been times with myself and clients when it's like, I need a project now. Success is a project. Doesn't matter what project, it's a project, right? But there's other times when maybe I have a different mode. And so I'm looking more for information about my job search, or I'm looking for information about new fields. So we need to identify and define what is success. And then we need to focus and commit on one main focus tool for now, right? When we're thinking of preparing for our job search, we want to determine our mode. What kind of job are we looking for? We have options these days. Then we need to again look at the job type, right? Again, we need to look at, and this is in the checklist, this is our personal inventory of what job do I need to have right now. As we all know, we've all job searched in different times in our lives, right? There have been times when it has been, my priority is income. I need a project or money or a job with income. And that's what we're going to look for, right? There's other times maybe I'm employed and maybe I'm looking for something else, or maybe I'm looking for a side gig and I have a little bit more time. We have to define this going into our job search. Otherwise, we will not be on the right path, right? We're going to be wasting our energy. Clarifying something as specific as, is it urgency money now or is it choice? That helps us to identify in our job search and to be productive with, I'm going to look for the projects that meet this specific criteria. We need to be clear about how we're going to be flexible, right? So when we think about it, that first category when we're job searching is how we are defining what we're looking at, so that we can move to the second category, which is preparing. Are we prepared for our job search? Now, again, this is something where we want to think about, depending on where you are in your life and age and how you have job searched, right? One of the things when we're talking about preparing, the strength of our system matches the strength of our effort, right? If we build something and put our full effort into it, we're going to get full effort out of it, right? In other words, if we put half-ass effort into something, we're going to get half-ass results out of it, right? So one of the things we want to do when we are job searching is we want to be prepared and realistic, setting expectations. How much time, effort, and energy do I need? How much focus is it? How much of an urgency is it? So we need to prepare. And when we're preparing, we're looking at, what is the role we're looking for right now? Is there an ideal job I'm looking for, title? Or is it, again, I'm looking for money? The title doesn't matter, right? Is there a specific job or is there a specific skill? Identify. When we are preparing for the role we're going to look for, we want to be honest about, what is it we want to do? Is there a specific title? I at one point had a client who, she wanted to be a manager. Her goal was to be a manager. She didn't care what it was a manager of. She wanted to be a manager. And so important nugget to say, then when we're looking for projects, we're looking for jobs, we're only looking for managers. They don't have that title, then we're not looking for it. Having clarity of the role in our job search, being prepared and putting effort into it saves time, effort, energy, and makes it a more productive search. And isn't that really what it's about? Another area it is so important that we are prepared for is we want to look at, what are our portfolios, right? What is our platforms? Where are the snapshots of myself? Where are my profiles that I need to update? What platforms do I have profiles on? For example, do I have profiles on like Upwork, LinkedIn? Do I have profiles on specific niche sites, Fiverr even, which is, where do I have my profile publicly and do I need to update it? If I'm job searching, I want to update it. If I'm going to be applying for jobs, I want to keep it up to date and I want to make sure my profiles match because people will Google you when you are applying for jobs. And that is one of those things. If you have different profiles in different places, it's going to raise questions that you don't want them to ask. We want to make sure, again, update your profiles, make sure that your resume, your portfolio, whatever it is this day. Again, we know that it's different, right? We know it used to be that everyone had maybe a resume or a CV, but now we know people have different profiles. They look like a different formats, which is always a good thing. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is know your profiles and have them updated so when you're job searching, you know where to go. It's also important to identify the search sites and platforms you're going to use. We know, again, in this day and age, there's ZipRecruiter, right? We know there are so many places that you can look for jobs. We know there are places that are going to post opportunities. LinkedIn, Glassdoor. We know that there are options out there of where you can find project availability. So it's important to say, for this search right now, this is where I'm going to focus. Because it will give you insight. It allows you to take control and set expectations. I always recommend pick 2 to 3 searches platforms. I recommend keeping it, again, unless this is one of those things where it's like, I just need a job. I need anything. But this is why we're being strategic, right? We're saying if that's not my mode, I want to pick 2 to 3 platforms that I can keep up with. I can look at projects and I can follow up with. We want to save searches. It's important to save whenever you have, if you're looking for projects or jobs to apply for, save searches, keywords, filter words that you can use. And then another thing is it's important to follow up with companies and recruiters. 2 episodes ago, when Kelly Jones were here, we learned something very important about the power of networking and how she talked about if you want to work somewhere, become active in their social feeds. It helps you to be visible. Again, our goal with this productivity job search checklist is to give you tools of when you're job searching, what is it that you can do? How can you take control of your job search, right? We've looked at what it is that the kind of projects we're looking for. We've talked about what the searches we're looking for. So now let's talk about the application process and how do we organize that so we're most productive. It's important to focus on quality, not quantity. A few intentional applications will move you farther than a flood of rushed applications. I'm going to tell you this, okay? Again, there are times when we are going to feel the need to flood the market, and that's okay if that's what you need. If that's not the mode you are in, and if you have the ability, it's important to do what we're doing right now. Stop, take a step back. How can I be intentional with my job search? How can I be productive? And how can I not flood the market? How can I be strategic? One of the places we want to be strategic, again, when we're looking at your checklist, at creating a checklist for you, what is your application, your applying process, right? Where is it that you are going to apply? Identifying platforms, identifying job search sites. Another area that is hugely undervalued and underrated a lot of times that can save us a lot of times and help us be productive is our network and networking intentionally. One thing is reach out to your contacts, former coworkers and mentors. If you are looking for a project, reach out to the people who know you and who have worked with you because they will know of job opportunities. If there's a company or someplace that you would like to work, reach out to people who you know work there. Maybe they'll get a referral bonus, right? You want to personalize. It is so important when you're networking. Do not send out a blast email with blind copy and have a whole bunch of hidden names on it, right? We are talking about networking intentionally for your job search. So you want to make it personalized. You want to connect with people. You want to make a message to them. It's worth it. One way to save time and not have to apply for endless jobs, use your network proactively, use your network powerfully, and help you with your job search. So when we're thinking about the application process, we want to look at our network. We also want to look at how we're applying for projects. And when I mean that, since we're talking about organization, right, and we're talking about being productive, I'm talking about how you schedule your time. This is where you want to look at, this is where you want to ask yourself, I'm looking for a job right now. What is my schedule? Do I have another job? Do I have other responsibilities? Am I going to school? What is my availability and how am I going to schedule it? Again, the intentionality that we schedule things shows the effort and energy we want to get out of it. So I would say to be intentional and schedule, block specific times on your calendar where you can focus on your job search. You might not spend all of this time applying. It might be that you're following up or you're looking for projects. But block and be intentional on your calendar, block out times for job search. Now, you might not be able to call it that. There might be times when we need to call it something else, but we just want to be sure that we're blocking time for our calendar on our blog, we want to make sure we're blocking time on our calendar for our job search. Easy for you to say, not me. For project-based platforms, if we're going to apply, say, on Upwork or Fiverr, we need to realize that there might be a shorter turnaround or we might be available at different times. I've gotten a lot of jobs in the middle of the night when I have insomnia. So it's important to think about different times also when you want to look at it. But what we're talking about here is how do we take control of our job search in the application process? One of it is planning and being strategic with the actual applying for and following up on. So add time on your calendar so that you're able to apply, add follow-up time, and then focus on quality over quantity. That's going to be helpful in a big way. So when we think about it, when we think about that applying process, we're thinking about what's our network, how are we structuring and being strategic about applying so that we're focusing our energy where we're likely to get results that we want. So the third step that we've talked about is that application and applying step. The fourth step in the job search and being productive process that we want to talk about for your checklist that we're creating here is to reflect. Remember, tracking habits builds awareness. Progress often appears in your habits before it shows in your outcomes. So having a productive job search process is going to help tremendously when it comes to a successful outcome. So one of the things we also need to do after we've applied is we need to reflect. And this isn't transactional. I don't mean we just need to reflect on the job search process when we're done, although that is important. What I'm talking about is we need to reflect on along the way, what's working, what's not working, what can we improve, right? It is important to track and review. One of the things when we're talking about the applications and reflecting, we need to talk about what tracking tool we're using. We need to talk about how we're tracking our applications. We need to ask ourselves what's available for the situations and decisions we've made. So for example, recently I was looking for a project and I did it all on Upwork, right? The freelance platform. So I was able to track everything there. But times before I've looked for projects and I've had clients. Right now I have a client that's looking for a project. She's looking on LinkedIn, she's looking on Upwork, and she's looking on an industry specific site, right? And so one of the things that we have then is multiple places. So we need to talk about how to be strategic to track and review. So what we want to talk about, do you need a spreadsheet? Do you need to track something? Where are you going to do it? And be intentional about it. Tracking and tracking our progress with our job search is a game changer. The more organized you feel about the job search, the more likely you're going to be to go back to it. And I will honestly say tracking your job search directly impacts how you feel about how it's going. And I'm saying this working with people. Tracking your job search directly impacts your success and how you feel about it. I've worked with so many job search seekers who haven't tracked their progress and they feel a hot mess because they don't know what's going on. So it's important to, again, find that tool that works for you. Look at it regularly, review weekly what is working. Also look at the proposals that you're sending. Do I need to update it? Do I need to ask questions? It is important when we are job searching that we're organizing that reflection process for improvement. So we have now looked through the 4 phases of organizing your job search. So you can create a checklist that is personalized for you and that helps you get the job you need. So we've talked about determining what job project you are looking at, preparing and being prepared right now for the job search, Apply, how to apply productivity principles. What can you do for that application process and reflect. So remember, we talked about determining the mode, identifying, is this I need money job search? Okay, then we will structure it in that way. Is this I have time and I'm looking for opportunities job search? Great, we'll structure it that way. We're going to define it. We're going to prepare. We're going to make sure our profiles are updated. We're going to make sure our resume is updated. We're going to make sure that we know what we're looking for and where we're going to look. Then we're going to apply. We're going to talk to our networks. We're going to plan when we apply. We're going to plan the application process. Then we're going to reflect. We're going to track and we're going to review. So I have shared several suggestions today. And the purpose for that was intentional, right? I was intentional because my goal is for us to think about this and then for you to walk away and say, what does your checklist look like? So what does my checklist look like? What I want for you to do is to say, okay, what does your checklist look like? What does mine look like? What is it that you need to involve the next time you've got a job search so that you're your most productive? Job searches are stressful enough. Let's make them easier along the way. Job searches really can be a positive experience, can be an overwhelming experience. So let's make it the most positive as possible. As it says here, I have identified the different steps that you can include, but slay your way. It is your job search. It is your future. It is for you. It is your productivity. Take control of it so it's what you would like for it to be. Today, we have concluded talking our third episode about productivity in your job search. I truly do hope that this conversation today has inspired you to think of what can you do to be intentional with your job search productivity checklist, because I want your job search to be smarter, not harder. I want your job search to be more organized than stressful, and I want your job search to be successful for what you want. And we know productivity, as always, is at the heart of all of it. And that's why we love intentional productivity tips. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner. I want to thank you for joining me today on USA Global TV and Radio's USA Global and TV Radio's YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and even be notified when new episodes drop. By the way, I will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Next Thursday, as every Thursday at 2 p.m. on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. Please join me. We are going to talk about something fun next week. If you have any questions in the interim, you can always reach me at my email, megan@indelible.global. Please check out my Instagram page at Intentional Productivity Tips. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for being intentional with your productivity. I hope you take the time to make it a good week and enjoy everything you can. And now here's a word from our sponsors.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.